Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft is a frustrating company, and it's a company that I really, really want to love. I really want to really love Ubisoft games. But they have a very distinct problem where they have a tendency to shoot themselves in the foot constantly. And it's an issue I've always seen with this company. Like, they bring out a good game, they milk it to death, then like just shit out copies after copies, no quality control, then they just move on to the next thing. And when they do have a really good game, because it's a lower budget game, they're giving it less marketing push, and unfortunately that game dies. Now, the game I'm talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, is Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which is a Metroidvania side-scroller game, and I've been playing it. I bought it on Steam sale, and to be honest, I don't know when it came out. Like, it's really one of those cases, I actually don't know when it came out, because Ubisoft's marketing team just didn't market that game whatsoever, and when it did release, it released on Ubisoft Connect, which is a very frustrating platform that I wish they just throw in a bin, to be honest. But that is a fantastic time. Unfortunately, the game didn't sell well. And the cancel for that game got cancelled. The cancelled for that game got cancelled. The sequel for that game got cancelled. And annoyingly, then, the team behind Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, has been disbanded completely. Fortunately, they haven't been fired. They've just been disbanded and reintegrated into other teams in Ubisoft. So that's a plus, at least. At least they didn't fire the people, because that would set my blood boiling. It's say that much. But despite the bad news with this all, there is some good news. And it started off really with a leak. Essentially, there was a leak that Rayman is coming back, and Rayman is probably my favorite Ubisoft franchise. I love Rayman. Like, all of the Rayman games, every single one of them are good. Well, maybe not the Game Boy handheld ones that much. I haven't played those ones. But every mainline Rayman game has been good. Even Raving Rabbids, which is the most contentious part of the series, the first Raving Rabbids anyway, I like Raving Rabbids. It's a fun minigame game, which I know a lot of people might crucify me for, because, oh, how dare you praise the Rabbids, but, you know, I actually think the Rabbids are pretty cool. I've always liked them. I feel they're underutilized and not done well, but I've always liked them as a base concept. But, of course, we've had leaks that Rayman is coming back, and to follow up with that cheeky leak that Rayman is coming back, Ubisoft themselves and Michel Ancel, the creator of Rayman himself, has both confirmed that they are in the early stages of a Rayman revival, which I am very, very excited about. I love these games. I love this guy, so I'm so excited to see what they got coming. Now, how will this revival take place? Honestly, we're not 100% sure just yet. I think some of the leaks said that they're going to start off with a Rayman 3 remaster, kind of like the Beyond Good and Evil remaster that just came out not long ago. Rayman 3 is going to get the same treatment, apparently, which I'm all for, because I love Rayman 3. I find it to be a pretty underrated game in the series, because most of the time people are talking about Rayman, they usually talk about Rayman 1 or Rayman 2. And Rayman 3 kind of just gets brushed under the side, or it's people complaining about the rabbits. So, you know, it's a game that I'm happy to see come back. I want Rayman 3 to come back, because it's a really good time. I recommend Rayman 3. And if anyone has a PC right now, alright, and you want to play Rayman 3 right now, haven't played Rayman 3 at all, it's on GOG. Go pick it up. It's a bloody good time. It's a bloody good time. But then again, same goes for Rayman 1 and 2. They're also on GOG. They're also bloody good times. Like I said, basically every game in this franchise is good. It's one of those weird ones where, like, even the more middling games are still good. They're still fun. And that's kind of like the fun thing I love about the big limbless wonder that he is. But with this news that Rayman is coming back, I have my own personal thoughts of what is going to happen. So, of course, we have the Rayman leak that states that a Rayman 3 remaster might be coming. And you know what? I believe that completely. I think that is happening. Because if you think about it, Rayman 3 is a game that doesn't really need that many touch-ups. It's a game that is still good looking to this day. It came out in 2003, so it is still an older title, but it's still a good looking older title. So that can just get touched up a little bit, re-released, and people will buy it and they'll be happy with the game. But I think that's not the end of it all. I think Rayman is coming back in a bigger way. And I think we're going to get a remake. And the game I think we're getting a remake for is actually going to be Rayman 2. A lot of people thought it would probably be Rayman 1, but I have a personal belief it's going to be number 2. And hear me out here. The reason why I think Rayman 2 will be getting a remake is simply it's the most iconic game in the series. Everyone knows Rayman 2. It's been the most sold game in the series, I believe. It is, it used to be everywhere. If you think Rayman, most people will think Rayman 2 or the original. And the original game is a 2D side-scroller, so that might limit some of the audience a bit for the game, because I know there are quite a few people out there. I don't quite understand these people, but there are people out there who are just like, ew, 2D, get away from me, ew. So I don't think Rayman 1 will be getting a remake. Because, to be honest, Rayman 1, in terms of remaking that game, I love the game, don't get me wrong. But it is so fucking hard. They'd have to redesign the entire game. So at that point, it will be basically a new game. Whereas Rayman 2, they can just kind of reimagine everything, touch up the visuals to a modern standard, and honestly, I think they would do really, really, really well. And then after that, maybe we can finally get that cheeky Rayman 4 that Murphy promised in Rayman 3, Maybe, fingers crossed, please. I'm dying for a Rayman 4. Come on, Ubisoft, please. Ah. But no, basically, I'm just excited. That's the main thing. I'm excited to see the Purple Wonder come back, because Rayman's the most abused character in Ubisoft's arsenal. Because there's such a gap between Rayman games. It's ridiculous. Rayman Legends came out what? Over 10 years ago now. There has been nothing since. Except maybe DLC for Mario plus Rabbids, which I haven't played yet. I need to get around to it. I own it. I just haven't got around to it. So one of these days I'll probably pop it on something, give it a go, have a good playthrough, and see what I think about it. But I have seen what Rayman looks like in that, and if that's the standard of visual fidelity we're looking at for these remakes, I'm all in, because Rayman looks beautiful. So, yeah, that's mainly what I really want to say. I just want to give my opinions about this all. Ubisoft, to be honest, please fix your shit. I want to be excited for Ubisoft games, but they always do stupid things, and it kind of ruins things. So I'm just praying Assassin's Creed Shadows is good, because Assassin's Creed in Japan is like a match made in heaven, and I don't want them to mess that up. I want that, that's gonna be, I'm gonna be bigging that up, and I can't wait for it. But, yeah, that's all I really had to say. Rayman is back, baby, unless something happens and it gets cancelled. Dear God, I hope nothing gets cancelled, but we shall see. But if anyone wants Rayman games in the meantime, well, GOG is your place. There's a lot of them on GOG, and if you want Rayman Legends, that's also on Steam, which, you're basically good with any Rayman game on any of those platforms. Just be warned, if you pick up Rayman 1 or Rayman Forever, as it's called, it's a bit of a tough one. In fact, I recommend the fan remake of Rayman 1 over that. Just trust me. But that's it for this. So I shall see us all again.